On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I are sitting down to have a wonderful little chat. We're going to discuss Marvel movies. We're going to discuss the return of Mortal Kombat. And, any other little thing that we feel like chatting about. And you know what? There might even be a surprise appearance that I'm not going to spoil now. Someone's going to show up. Maybe. In a way. Possibly. Who knows? It's all good. It's all fun. So make sure you have a beverage. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, porpoises, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Oh, come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that, had a really nice, quick opening line that it was going to use for this, but unfortunately there's a writer's strike going on, and we lost our writer before he could finish writing it. So, I'm Howard, your host, Howard Blues, and across from me is the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Well, Howie Blues straight off the radio train and into the podcast world. I am here. I had some ramen and finishing off Coca-Cola. So, I started What's on Tap early. I'm sorry. And I'm still hungry. So it's kind of depressing.
Yeah, that sounds rough. Anytime you got to do the pregame, and clearly it's been a bit of a rough day. I mean, you can tell it's been a rough day when the introduction that I have been doing for over 100 episodes just totally goes blank as I'm saying it, and I, drop the lines as if I never said them before.
We could start again if we need to.
Nah, it's all right,
Oh, this is live.
Well, it's not live. That's tomorrow night.
Oh,
night after.
It's live for the people watching or listening to it right now. Live on replay.
Ah, yes. Yes. Then it would be live. Just
clarifying. Just want to make sure.
That's good to know. Good to know. Yeah, no, it's been a week, Kidder. I've worked a 12-hour day, a 14-hour day. You had to be up multiple times at dark 30. I'm surprised I'm here. Yeah,
me too.
It's been
for both of us.
Yeah, it's been a week.
Whoa!
There
it is. We didn't even make it 10 minutes in tonight.
Well, I kind of felt bad because we were kind of hinting at it. And somewhere somebody was playing the Triple B home drinking game and was like, say it. I want to drink already. Just say it. Say the line. Say the line so I can drink. So there. Try to give the fans what they want.
Yeah. Got to give the people what they want.
Which is apparently trucking content, Kidder. I don't know if you've looked at our stats, but our Brothers Blue hauling episode, the one that I labeled that, and I put that really sweet retro trucking graphic on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got over 50 views. Our videos eventually get up to that high, but this is out of the gate. It's everybody's watching it. And apparently people like the trucking content.
Can't go wrong with some other truckers.
Yeah. My only fear is then that you're going to want me to actually start playing American Trucking Simulator so that we have more trucking content in the show. And I just don't know that I can commit to that, Kidder.
Oh, that's a lot of trucking.
It is. Maybe I'll have to go to the old Hobby Lobby and buy one of those model 18-wheeler kits, and I'll sit and assemble that during the show. Maybe that will be my contribution to the trucking content on this show. Give it a sweet Brothers Blue Holland paint job.
That does sound awfully similar to something that you would do.
It does. It does. But I don't really need more projects at the moment.
Fair enough. Unfortunately, Rude Boy is not here this evening. However, he shared with me earlier yesterday that in the American Trucking Simulator, there is a new truck to try, available, I think, for free.
Wow.
He was disappointed because it didn't have that many customization options. Like we like, LEDs on the front, LED on the top, LEDs in the back, flash over here, flash over there, all of the things.
Yeah. No, that's a little disappointing. I know how much you guys like to spend time decking out your trucks. That's how it goes. So, but Kidder, I see that you are finishing off that lovely Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Which I guess means it's probably time to have another, and that means it's everybody's favorite segment of the show.
What's on tap? Oh, that scare you?
No, I just also like I was on like a 90s game show, where like the audience all cheers the name of the show or the catchphrases and all that. Yeah, that's about what it is. Yeah. So, Kidder, what are you having this fine evening? Or would you like me to go first? I mean,
you go right ahead, and you go first.
All right. So I am finishing off the South Dakota beers that the local geek brought us. And this one is once again from the Sawyer Brewing Company out of Spearfish, South Dakota. It is the Pick Your Path Pilsner. Yeah. 5.2% alcohol by volume. Pilsner malt, Pacifica. We've always been one to pick our own path. This Pilsner is no exception. We've deviated off the traditional Pilsner trail by using New Zealand hops. Grab a beer and boldly pick your path. So, family owned, operated by wild animals. I think we've said that slogan every time we've had one of these. But Kidder, I'm getting a little low on the old beer in the beer fridge.
Yeah, we need some more donations.
I was just going to say I just need to make a beer run, but yeah, definitely smells like a Pilsner.
EEERUN beer run.
It's all right. Very weedy taste to it.
All right.
Like you can taste the grain. It's all right. I would maybe give it like a 2.75 out of 5. Just slightly below average.
That high, huh?
I mean, it's not bad. I have a hard time. Like most Pilsners are kind of lacking in like flavor and taste. It's like Pilsner is not the beer I tend to go for. And so for me, they just kind of tend to be like meh, like average. Like they're not bad, but they're not like the thing I go for. I like a little bit more flavor with my beer. So it's an average. It's not terrible. It's just okay.
Okay.
So I can't remember if you've had this one on the show.
I don't recall.
Well, that's why we have a future Howard. He can pull up the local geek spreadsheet and find out. So, but this one's a full pint, which is good. It'll last me the entire length of this show, which is good because I'm parent in charge all weekend. So this is my one. Yeah. So, but Kidder, that brings us back around to you, good sir. What's on tap? What you having? What's coming out of the fridge?
Well, Let's find out together. This one looks close. Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Oh, I know this one.
Oh, Lord help me. The Neon Bear Hug by the Goose Island Beer Company. 7% alcohol by volume. It is 12 fluid ounces, and it is an IPA. Born in Chicago, 1988. Yes, there you can see this.
Yeah. Kidder, I have had that one on the show, and I want to say that I actually, when I tasted it, said that this was an IPA you might actually enjoy.
Ah.
If my memory serves me correctly.
Probably. This apparently is also 10,000 volts of flavor. We'll see if it's 10,000 something. It is an India Pale Ale. Best by January 15th. Okay. Brewed in Chicago, Illinois, and Fort Collins, Colorado. And please recycle. No Ball Corporation aluminum. Which, I mean, that's kind of the first sign of a good beer. All right, here's the sniff. Very fruity. Citrusy, maybe I should go with. That'd be a little bit better descriptor. There's the pine. Nah. No. This is gonna be rough. Here's the problem. I'm not sitting out on the deck. It's still not 85 degrees, and yeah. So,
Yeah,
very low for me.
and that's interesting because I did look it up. I pulled up the old spreadsheet, and I did actually say this. In fact, the quote that Local Geek put down, Kidder, I think you might actually like this one. It's not very hoppy. It has a nice citrus-like flavor to it, but not that bitter hoppy flavor you normally get from an IPA. So, I clearly thought you would like it a lot more than you do.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
That's okay. That's okay.
I had high hopes.
That's okay.
Kidder, you also had the Pick Your Path Pilsner on episode 108. You said, it's a nice Pilsner. Nice amber notes there. The lager smoothness underneath it. I'm reading this from pretty far away. You ranked it actually a 3.5 out of 5. So you actually rated it higher than I did. So there. Some real-time fact checking.
Thanks, Kern Howard.
Yeah,
have another drink.
Gotta save future Howard. He has been putting in some work.
And what work has future Howard been working on?
Wow, I mean, a lot of editing. Because we had episode 112 come out tonight, which is like he went overboard with the Easter eggs. There's a lot of stuff in that episode. So that's a great one. But he's also got next week's episode edited, rendered, and up, ready to go. Plus two brand new episodes of Howard's Cave of Wonder coming out.
Holy crap.
By the time that this one comes out, hey, go back to just Wednesday and the first one is out, and next week you'll get a second episode. So like 4 videos in the queue, ready to go, ready to be released to the world.
That's something right there.
Yeah. Future Howard's been busy. He's been turning out some product for us. So I hope people are like we're basically sliding into summer with like a whole bunch of content, to kind of kick it off. So it's all good. It is all good. And I mean, for the audience, I mean, by the time they see this, they already know. But at time of recording this, Skinner, we got 2 live streams we're doing this weekend. So, I mean, listen, if you want content this summer, boom, here you go. The Triple B delivering right off the bat. I mean, most people, they're looking at it as summer, time to go on vacation, time to take some, much needed R&R. But no, what are we doing, man? We are pumping out the content. And if you appreciate this content, hey, maybe think about liking, subscribing, giving us the old thumbs up, share with your friends. They might enjoy this content too. And you can always find out all the places that we are located on our website, beerbluesbs.com. Yeah.
That's a good plug, Howard.
Thanks. I'm warming up because, I got to do all of the cheap plugs for the live streams. So we've been working on it,
Sure. Get it out of the way.
Trying to live up to, my responsibilities I have this weekend and trying to deliver those plugs. Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Very good. Very good. Well, I do have some breaking news.
Oh boy, breaking news. Let me dust that graphic off.
So breaking, I had to take a beverage drink break right there. So we know the Triple B's Armorer 1 JS Gunslinger. I know, perhaps those watching or listening also know that JS, when he's going to do something, he does it right. Howard's like, where are you going with this?
I am on the, well, I can't say that I'm on the edge of my seat, Kidder, because truthfully, I'm scooted pretty close up to my desk, so I can't get to the edge of my seat, but I'm there mentally.
Wow. Well, I mean, you paid for the whole thing, so all you need is the edge. All right. This afternoon, he happened to be doing a little something out there at the JS property. And he'll tell the whole story at some point, but he ended up going for a sail. And no, he doesn't own a yacht. He went flying off a horse and ended up on his shoulder side general overall area. And it smarted for quite a bit, I guess. And well, after going in, he has 3 broken ribs. Ooh. Thankfully, they are just fractured and not like jagged or displaced. And so he does not have any punctured lungs or other organ damage. But it took him a while to get some assistance and to regain his bearings after it happened. So I had invited him to be on this evening, but he just woke up a little bit ago after getting some of that medication there and taking a nap. And he said that it hurts to sit for more than 10 minutes. And so maybe another time. So get well soon, JS. And while you're on meds, try to not have a stiff drink.
Yeah, no, man. Sorry to hear that. That's a tough way to go into summer. It's that's a rough one. So, Kidder, I'll actually share my own breaking news. Although mine isn't going to live up quite to yours because yours was literal breaking news. I can't, although kind of. Kidder, I was out on the road yesterday. Was traveling to a couple of sites, dropping off some stuff, getting us ready because tomorrow marks the opening of our season. So doing some last minute drops off of store merch and supplies, and it helped conduct an interview. But here's the thing: as I was on the road and driving a state fleet vehicle, I of course was not texting during any of that because you don't do that in state fleet vehicle. But I got to Oscar Zero after visiting Fort Abercrombie and was helping conduct this interview. And during the interview, felt my phone buzzing a couple of times, and got out of the interview and looked at it because I'm like, what happened? And here's the text I got from my dad. Just so you both know, because this was to me and Lefty, we are in the ER. Mom gets to have her appendix out as soon as an operating room opens up.
Awesome.
So my mom's appendix ruptured, was perforated. So she was in surgery last night. It went well, but because the appendix had ruptured, she's going to get to spend some time in the hospital because they tend to keep an eye on that. Infection is really, really easy to come by when you've had a ruptured appendix. So she gets to stay in the hospital for that. So she's kicking off the summer in a way that, yeah, I'm sure she's not enjoying. So I might take the kids at some point over and just say hi so she can see them and get a break. So,
hey, I mean, you get room service, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so that makes the second member of my family to have their appendix removed. Hers in less dramatic fashion. Although both ended up in the ER. I had mine out in the 4th grade. So I had, and Kidder, you'll know my good friend Pat from Spearfish. He had actually gotten sick with like a stomach bug, but was still sent to school. And Pat is, and I mean this, nobody can beat him, the nicest guy in the world. Period. I have never met anybody so humble, caring, do anything for you than Pat. Literally, nicest guy in the world. I've never heard him say anything mean about anybody. He's just that guy. Anyway, he was sick and didn't want to interrupt the teacher when he finally got called upon, in class. And when I was in the same class, he's like, I need to go to the bathroom. She said, sure. He didn't make it. He made it all the way to the trash can, and that's where he threw up because he was having stomach problems. So he went out sick. I shortly got sick. Everybody thought it was the flu. And I had a night where I was lying on the floor of our living room, tossing and turning. I couldn't keep anything down. I was throwing up everything. Parents finally took me to the ER, and they had to remove my appendix. They had to wait a few hours because I had drank something, and they had to let that clear my system. But I will tell you, I was so dehydrated. Like, I didn't feel the IV needle go in. Like, it was bad. They estimate that my appendix had been ruptured for about 12 to 24 hours, and that it was a good thing that I had made it in. Otherwise, I might not be here. But yeah, I got to spend a week in the hospital after that. And then they got infected, and they had to go back in and clean it all out. And I got to spend a second week in the hospital. And I still have scars from those procedures. So
mentally.
No, physically. Listen, I'm not going to take my shirt off for the podcast, but I do have a scar that starts kind of just right at the bottom of my rib cage and runs down past my belly button, kind of down to my waist, and it is about a quarter to half an inch thick in places. It was one of those that, like, after everything was done, one of the doctors wanted to do steroid injections to try and shrink the scar, and that was like 14 shots of steroids to do it. And after the first set, I said, no, you know what? I'll live with it. I will live with this cool scar down my down my front. as a thing because I was done. I didn't want any more shots, or being poked with any more needles. But yeah, so I'm hoping my mom makes a quick recovery and such. But yeah, it's not the thing you want when you're like 2 hours and 45 minutes away, and otherwise it was a good trip. So
Good. I'm glad she's on the mend.
I sent her some pictures of the kids today. She was pretty happy with that. So all good in that case. So, but yeah, Kidder, it's we're recording this. It's the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, and it for me it's busy because it's the opening of our state historic sites. They all go to summer hours. They're all geared up, ready to go. I'm hoping for a good summer. I'm hoping for a good, busy summer. So should be fun. So any big plans to kick off your summer here with the holiday weekend?
I really shouldn't laugh, but maybe it's just my fatigue. We get to spend a lot of time together tomorrow and Sunday. And tonight. So you're taking up like a quarter of my weekend.
Listen,
not the shows, just this.
I'm not gonna lie. I will probably be starved for adult conversation because listen, I love my kids, but I get 3 whole days with them, just myself. I'm going to finally be looking forward to talking to somebody who doesn't always have to say why. I'm looking forward to that part. Like that'll be good. But otherwise, it's going to maybe be a little rough on my side of things. Mm-hmm. And with my mom laid up in the hospital, my mother-in-law was kind of like, well, I think we'll do a low-key holiday weekend. It's like, great. Because I was hoping for like the family get together because then I can take the kids and other people can entertain them for a while. And that isn't going to work out. So, Kidder, do you want some kids for like a day?
No, I'm good.
So they're awfully sweet. The one's almost potty trained. The other one's only on antibiotics, so you're just going to have a couple blowouts throughout the day, but otherwise they're pretty good.
No. No. Good. I'm good. I was trying to figure out how to do something over here and it's not working. So, but you will know that the live streams are scheduled, and of course for those of you watching or listening to this, it's 2-week-old content. Much like the rest of our show. Yep.
We're on the cutting edge of being relevant. Which, hey, Kidder, you said edge earlier, and it just made me think. Didn't you have a radio show at one time that was called The Edge?
I sure did.
I thought I remembered
Alternative and new rock. Sunday nights, 8 to 10 on terrestrial radio.
Yeah, because if I recall, you had that one. You did the Killer Kidder show, mm-hmm. and then Dakota Damnation were kind of your creation and shows. I said you were on some other things filling in for other people and such, so I don't count those. But these were the ones that you maybe had more of a hand in than.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The Edge I curated. I put it together. Pew, pew, pew. Put some requests in there. Pew, pew. It was the best damn show.
So I have to ask, because you have just recently returned to terrestrial radio.
Yes.
And
I certainly have.
I don't get to catch it all the time, but every now and then I turn it on. I actually have the website up as a quick tab on my browser on my work computer, so that if I happen to be at my desk from 1 to 3 o'clock and have a project that I can work on where I could stand listening to music and such, I'll pull it up and listen live as it goes out. Hasn't been a lot lately, but it's there. But Kidder, I was curious because this is a new company. This isn't Clear Channel, who you have worked for in the past. So I was
doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. shows how much I'm up on terrestrial radio. But I was curious, Kidder, how is the new atmosphere over there? I know you're doing classic rock, but are you getting to have a say in the programming that you're playing with that, or are you held to the whims of somebody else?
I do like to throw a little bit of this and a little bit of that in there every so often. And so sometimes as you're listening, you may hear a tasty nougat or perhaps a different variation of an artist. So that's kind of my little here and there, enough that corporate doesn't catch on.
Here's something, Kidder. With classic rock, and you know music definitions better than I do, but isn't classic rock, isn't there like a certain number of years, like once a song hits, was it like 20 years, then it's considered classic rock? 10
years. That's any genre technically, then it turns into a classic song. Typically the only real genre that has, there's classic country, I guess, but you don't have classic top 40, but it's classic rock. So 10 years is officially the category for it to then move on into the pasture.
Well, that'll still work. I want to pitch something to you, Kidder.
I don't like baseball.
It's not baseball. But this has to do with your show. It's an idea I had while I spent many hours in the car that I thought maybe you would like to use. So I'm giving you this one as a freebie. I think you'll like it. So here's the thing. If a song is a classic rock song after 10 years, I think at the 10-minute mark of each hour, you should play a song that has just turned 10 years old that would be considered classic rock.
That sounds like a lot of research and a lot of timing that's needed, because obviously you have to time 2 songs or 3 songs out, so then it goes to about the 10-minute mark, so then you can play that. So sounds like it's above my pay grade, so I'll just push that one up the chain of command there.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily be right at that 10-minute mark. I was just...
Oh, you said 10. It has to be 10. You said it. That was your idea.
Listen, I'm throwing it out there. I'm expecting you as the radio professional to take it and run. But I thought it would be an interesting thing is if you did a thing kind of every hour, hey, we're starting off with, because you guys do what? It's 40 minutes of music, commercial free.
40 minutes nonstop classic rock that really rocks.
So maybe the first, or whenever your first interstitial would be, maybe your second song of the set is hey, this is and now we're in 2023, so it'd be a song from 2013 is now considered classic rock. That's an idea. I'm throwing it out there because I've seen Kidder in the social media realm where people like to post these short videos of songs you didn't realize have turned 20 years old today. And so I was just, I don't know. I saw one of those recently, was thinking about, I was that's something Kidder could do. He could do hey, did you realize this song is now considered classic rock?
I could. There's that possibility, but that sounds like it's a lot of time and more effort, and so we'll just push that one up the chain. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, hey, if you don't want to do it, Kidder, I'll tell you what.
You're gonna do it?
No, because I'm not a professional radio DJ.
Oh, you just give me the information. I'll put the schnazziness onto it.
I mean, if all I'm doing is getting you information, I'm just going to put rock songs released in 2013 into the old Google, see what it spits out. And knowing me, I probably haven't listened to most of them, so I can't even tell you if they're good. So you're just going to get a list of songs from 2013.
Judging by some of the people who are programming radio stations these days, they also don't know what songs are actually good. So,
well, yes, you see, but at least I admit it. Like I wasn't listening to a whole lot of rock in 2013.
What were you listening to?
2013, it would have been a lot of Blues Traveler and a lot of podcasts because I just come off of working down at Fort Yates, and so I just lost my 2-hour long commute every day. So I was mostly at that point listening to a lot of Blues Traveler, a lot of just odds and ends. But you know me, I've never really been a radio guy. It's rare for me to actually have my radio tuned to anything except for maybe talk radio. So I like to listen to people chat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand all the commercials on terrestrial radio. I was just gonna say, and also most of the DJs I can't tend to stand either. So you are in the, and it's not just because you're my friend and I've known you forever. You are one of the few. You really are one of the few DJs I enjoy listening to. You do an excellent job with that, laying down some facts, some little interesting trivia every now and then. Keep it moving. Even your plugs are not that obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just because I get to go over the top on this show.
That is true. that is probably true. But no, it's I've always enjoyed listening to you. I've just never been able to handle the 30 minutes of ads that play every hour.
So I will say, here's the problem of being the best. Everybody wants to be in your show. And so, two things. One, you raise the rates, but people still want to be in it. So then number two, you got to squeeze some in, right? And then there you go. More commercials for those advertisers who know the value of good content, kind of like this show. Wait, we don't have any advertisers for the show. We'll just put that one off to the side for now. Oh, it's so sad. By the way, if you'd like to sponsor our show, help donate and keep the show going, maybe buy us some beer, you can go to two different places of your choice, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs or on our website, beerbluesbs.com, beerbluesbs.com. You could buy us a beer, buy us a 12-pack, buy us a 24-pack. Hell, buy us a keg. It'll help the show keep rolling where it needs to go. beerbluesbs.com or streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. And in our merch stores on both of those pages, the proceeds go to us. So it helps keep the show going.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the money we make, we tend to put back into the show. So, which is great. I mean, it's one of those things. If you ever go back and watch some of the old, early episodes, it was kind of rough, man. It was kind of rough.
Which part?
I just say, our camera tech has gotten better. Our lighting setup has gotten better.
Yeah.
I mean, the hosts still kind of suck, but, otherwise we're, moving up in the world.
Sometimes you can put the lipstick on the pig, but does still just keeps it a pig. What?
No, I'm just.
We're in 1080p now. I don't know if you saw that option, but 1080p. They finally upped their video quality game, so we might be in a decent resolution.
Ooh.
I know. 720 is so 2005.
Yeah. Every now and then, I come across a video on the old YouTube, and it's like, it like comes off and like the resolution's terrible, and I'm like, settings. I wanted. Oh wait, really? 240 is the highest I can go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, crap. Usually it's like when I'm watching like an old like news clip that somebody uploaded. It's like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. Low res is not the way to go.
Nope.
Yeah.
Kidder, I don't know if this bothers you, but I sit through enough like presentations from people.
Yeah.
Does it ever bother you now? Like if you sit through like a presentation and like a PowerPoint, and it's like they've clearly just grabbed graphics off of like the internet, like off Google, but it's clear that they didn't look for like the biggest high resolution image they could. Mm-hmm. So it's always pixelated.
Oh yeah.
That drives me nuts. It's one of those where I'm just like, come on. It's not that hard to look for like a high res photo.
Sometimes it is difficult because then you have to actually search the internet and you actually have to look for something and do a little bit of work. Kind of like the questions you see posed on social media. Looking for insert thing here. Did you search the internet? Did you look for places, other recommendations, or even this one? You see 12 posts regarding the same question. You didn't even look in the group or the Facebook in general for anybody else who has that question. Stop being lazy and stop posting comments on other people's comments on somebody's wall. Do it yourself.
Sounds like Kidder's had some like pet peeves recently with social media.
Oh no, this isn't recent. This is years in the making. It became a simple, wow, you're that dumb, to stop doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree with you about the like people posting the same question over and over again. I will say, I at least appreciate the ones who just call it out, right away and say, look, I'm sure this has been answered like 5 times, but I'm so busy right now. I don't have time to go scrolling. Can somebody just tell me the answer to this? Like, at least you're admitting it. Like, I'm being lazy, or, I'm too busy to look. I'll always take that. But yeah, the people who it's like clear, like you didn't really read or look at anything, those ones always do drive me nuts. I see it with a lot of Kickstarters and board games. Well, speaking of YouTube, since we were chatting about that just a little bit ago,
getting more subscribers.
We are.
So join the YouTube family, youtube.com/beerbluesbs, youtube.com/beerbluesbs, and please smash that sub button.
Yeah, that's not where I was going to go, but yeah, that works.
It's the IPA.
Yeah, sure, we'll blame it on that. No, what I was going to say is, we've been covering on the show the straight line missions that are done by the GeoWizard, because it's an obsession of mine. And he just completed his 4th attempt to cross Wales. And usually what happens is he does one of these, and then it's like radio silence on them for quite a few months, like maybe 6-7 months before we'll have another one of these pop up. So I was kind of like, okay, I've gotten that. It's gonna be quiet for a while. I won't get to watch any more of these. Kidder, I was on YouTube, and what pops up at a GeoWizard video? He's doing another mission. It's not a straight line mission this time. he decided to partner with a couple of these what are called ultra runners or ultra marathoners. These are people who will like, a marathon is, it's like 26.3 miles. These guys will run races that are like 45 to 100 miles. So these are like very long distance runners. And he was partnering with a couple of them, and they decided to run across Wales in a single day. So 45 miles was their trail that they were following. And yes, they followed a trail. There was only a little bit of trespassing that they did. And it was only because their trail ran along a very busy road that the farmer had allowed the hedge row to kind of like grow over kind of the, like right up to the curb. So they didn't feel safe walking in the road. So they hopped into the farmer's field and just walked for a stretch there. I don't know. I understand that one. And they crossed at gates and they didn't destroy anything. So that was good. But Kidder, they decided to do this like during the middle of winter. There's like 3 feet of snow on the ground in some places on their trail. Temperatures dropped to like -9. And they set off to try and run across Wales in a single day. It was an interesting video, very interesting video, watching them have to deal with snow, stuff hidden beneath the snow. The one guy ran the whole thing in shorts, which is just crazy. But it was an interesting video to watch. It didn't have quite the same drama that the other ones have, but it was just interesting to see them do it. And the one mountain that they had to climb to the top of, you'll get a kick out of this. Like they got to the top and then they didn't realize like that they had to walk for like, I think it was 1.5 miles or run 1.5 miles along the top of the mountain to get to the other side. And they climb up this thing. The wind is blowing and howling. There's, as I said, 3 feet of snow in some places, and they're up in the clouds, so it's foggy. And basically, Kidder, I think what they were going through was a much worse version of the hike we did in Glacier.
Oh, great.
Where it was like every, little bit, they're like, oh, there's the end. There's the horizon. We're coming off this. We're going to start descending now. And then, oh, no, it's just a little dip, and then we have to go up higher. It was an interesting video. I'll put a link to it in the show notes if people want to watch it. Otherwise, yeah, I'm sure it's going to go back to a bit more radio silence. He's been doing a couple of interesting ones, Kidder. He's been doing this. It's with a site called Huge Quiz. And one of the quizzes that they have, and he's done it for Europe and he's done it for the UK, but it's a quiz where you have to name the cities, like, so for the UK, cities in the UK, and every time you name one, it pops up a circle, and depending on the difficulty level you put, determines kind of the size of the circle. And the idea is to try to name enough cities to cover, like in this case, all of the UK. So it's, and there's some 2,000 cities that he, potentially could name. And I watched that and I was kind of like, I wonder if I could do that for like either like North Dakota or South Dakota. I wonder if I could name enough cities to cover it. Unfortunately, you have to like sign up on that site and get a username and a password. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. There you go. Little update. A little bit more on the old straight line mission adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who've done it in North Dakota. I mean, essentially, it's a straight line. You take I-29 or I-94 and you're good to go. Or Highway 2 till you get to at least Williston.
It's not quite that straight, but it's pretty close.
It would be close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you painting?
Well, I'm kind of just painting a bunch of odds and ends of things. I have been trying to kind of clear some models that I've like started but never finished. Some of them were started like before I moved. So different things like we have a monk. You know, I was working on this Minotaur that's been on my desk for a really long time. So they're all kind of in like various stages. Some are worse than others, but they're all ones that I like started and then something came up and I stopped and then maybe I didn't feel inspired to work on them. But I kind of hate them sitting around partially painted, so I'm just kind of tackling them and I'm just kind of choosing some colors and just kind of going, okay, let me, paint everything I can with that color and see what all I can get done. So I'm kind of bouncing around between all of them. So I was thinking, Kidder, that we have an Instagram face to our social media and such. But I was kind of debating if if I am going to be doing more painting now on the show, now that I'm done gluing and assembling miniatures, then maybe I need to start, as I finish them, taking photos and posting them to our Instagram.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is you can do it through the Meta Suite.
Yes, I can. But I was just thinking about that because it's I complete these and, I haven't gone to the length to set up the paint cam in a while that we used to do. And I don't know that I necessarily want to go back to have that on. But it might be nice for people if they are interested in seeing the things I'm painting to do that. So, hey, if you want to catch and see what old Howard is painting every week, keep an eye on the Instagram page.
Hashtag Graham, hashtag Triple B, hashtag Beer Blues BS, hashtag Howard's Cave of Wonders, hashtag Howard knows social media. Sounds all right, huh?
What's going to happen is we're going to start posting those and we're going to get people tuning in because they're oh, painted miniatures. Cool. And then they're going to be like, what's all this other crap that you post?
Yeah. I get it. I get it, but somebody has to talk wrestling.
Listen, wait. We are complex beings, and you and I have never, ever been stuck on this is our one thing. Some people deep dive into things and get to a point where it's this is my one thing. All I do is this. I don't do anything else. If you've been following this show for a long time, I think you kind of have picked up that we have a lot of interests. We have a lot of hobbies. We have a lot of things that we follow. And that's okay. That's at least my take on it.
Yeah, we have quite a bit that we discuss. I mentioned that we have a podcast. What do you talk about? I'm pretty much everything except for politics. And they're like what? Wrestling, weather, movies, TV, hobbies, board games, painting, video games, yard work, the P-Rock.
Murder Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the goal of the show has always been to be if you were to find us in a bar and come down and pull up a seat and listen in on our conversation, hate to say it, this is kind of what we're like. Probably with a little bit more swearing. But for the most part...
Just when I have 12 drinks in me, I guess.
Or 1 for Loko.
Well, that thing will screw you up.
That thing will screw you up. I still, it's like, I've done it once now, and I'm like, I have no desire to ever do that again. And I've known a couple of you now who have done multiple Four Lokos in your histories.
Mm-hmm.
And I just go, why? Why, guys? Why?
Well, I mean, the first time it was 99 cents, and the juice seemed like it would be good. Look, I was young. I didn't have that experience. I didn't know what kind of garbage was actually hiding in that can. Yes, I should have known that any alcoholic beverage that was the mere price of 99 cents and larger than a Midco cable DVR remote, I should have said no. Kind of like the $9.99 sangria jug, but it looked good, right? Well, not so much. And then there was that 10 plus year hiatus of staying far, far away. And then, of course, we finally had Big D show up on the show. And what better to celebrate his arrival than a garbage drink that was red, white, and blue on the can anyway. Probably made my insides turn that color too. Red, white, and blue. At various stages of digestion. And then JS. He got us.
Yeah. I mean, that was my first drink like that, because I know I had the juice, which I would assume that is like juice is to Four Loko as Pepsi is to Coke. You know, it's kind of the same thing, maybe a slightly different product, but for the most part, yeah.
I would go even a step beyond that and say both brands are the same garbage in two different cans, whereas Pepsi and Coke, you can clearly taste the difference.
See, so I've never had a Four Loko, so I've only had the juice. Mm-hmm. But that was enough for I don't necessarily feel like now I need to go try the other one. Nope. I'm good. I'm usually up for an adventure, but no. Yeah, I didn't ask, but I'm curious now if the local geek, if that was his first time drinking that stuff.
Hey, local geek, help us get to the metrics and drop that comment below. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just kind of wonder because, the local geek always does seem to he drinks classy stuff, you know. And I can't see him even in college days being like, "Yep, I'm gonna have this." Could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We all do things in the college days that we're maybe not super proud of.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I didn't know what kind of fresh hell I was opening when I got that. So, yeah, that was bad enough to last 20 years. And no, it hasn't been 20 years yet. But now that I've had 2 more Four Lokos in the past 2 years, I'm probably good for the next 30.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have no desire, no inkling to do that again.
So, you sent me a couple emails regarding your backing of a board game that is also a video game. What's the deal with this game now?
Well, I mean, so this is Mythic Games' board game version of Rainbow Six Siege, and I have talked about it on the show a bit because it's been embroiled in controversy because they recently have asked all of the backers for a contribution in order to get the game. Basically, we don't have enough money to get this thing produced, so we need you to pay more. And for a lot of people, it was a very large bill to swallow. And it was kind of put up, some of the backers called it a ransom because it was basically told, you either need to put up the money or you don't get the game. So that has been kind of the controversy. They apparently have gotten enough. I think the last email they said that they had gotten or raised like 246% of what they needed to actually send it to print. I don't know how that math all checks out, but that's what they said. And so they're now going to start making the print run, and hopefully come October, games should be in our hands or shortly thereafter. But with that, part of the original campaign was within their partnership with Ubisoft. They did some different takes on some of the operators in the games. In video game terms, they put some different skins on these. So some alternative models for some of the characters. And then they had worked with Ubisoft to actually make these alternative models into alternative skins in the game. And if you backed, you got the codes to basically put these onto your characters in the game. I don't play Rainbow Six Siege. It's an interesting game, but I do not have the gaming skills to play that one. I love watching it played, especially when you watch really good people play. I enjoy that, but I don't play the game. So I got the codes, but I'm never going to play the game. Kidder, however, you do play the game on occasion. So I decided, what the hell? I don't need these. So I have given them all to Kidder so that he can have these exclusive skins from the backing of the game. So
hell yeah.
But I finally found my codes, so I was able to send them on to you.
And now I have to figure out how you actually get said skins.
Yeah, I kind of sent you the 2 emails about it, and hopefully you can figure it out from there.
Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, maybe before the premium live event because it's at noon. Because if I do it afterward at like 3:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to be. Yeah. So, yeah, you'll have to give those a try, and then let me know what you think of them. I don't even remember what they look like because this campaign is that old. So, I'll be interested to see what your take is on it. So, but otherwise, enjoy, man. Enjoy. Well, thanks.
So,
after reading that email 3 times, it said, to redeem, click here.
So,
it's been a long day.
Yeah, that it has. So, but yeah, and we'll see. We'll see how Mythic does after that. There's still have 4 games out that they need to try and get completed and out there, including Monster Apocalypse. So I keep hoping that one will manage to see the light of day. But right now, it's a little up in the air. Otherwise, nothing too interesting on like the board game front. So,
no new pledges you're looking at?
Not really. They just did the 2nd edition of Dungeon Saga. I'm in on that. But otherwise, not really. I kind of have gotten to a point where there's only really a few companies now that I really trust on old Kickstarter, because some Like up until recently, I would have told you Mythic Games is a pretty safe bet. Now I would tell you stay away from them. So nothing really that I'm like, ooh, I must have. So I'm kind of okay with that. Gives me a chance to get caught up with stuff that's in the cave and such. So doing that, getting some painting done. You know, trying to get back into the hobby side of things. It's been too long without. But speaking of Rainbow Six Siege and video games and such, Kidder, there was a trailer put out last week. Forgot to talk about it, so I'll talk about it this week. But NetherRealm Studios has put out the official trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. Oh, hey, Kidder sharing a screen.
Sorry.
We'll come back to this.
That's how slow it was. Just there's the skins in their pixelated glory from the email you sent me of what they look like, I guess. So, Mortal Kombat fight.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1, which is actually Mortal Kombat 12.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, so they released a trailer, and I have watched it. I need to watch it again. It's interesting because it didn't really give a lot about what the story is, and truthfully, that's what I'm interested in these days. Because starting at Mortal Kombat 9. Like they leveled up their storytelling to a very fine level. Like the campaigns starting at 9 have just been fantastic. You know, I've sat and I've watched all of the cinematics on it, and it's a gripping story. Like, you know, could be a movie easily. The basic premise. Here we go. Here's History with Howard, Mortal Kombat edition. History with Howard. To really start the story, you kind of have to go to Mortal Kombat 8, which was Armageddon. It was kind of their, like, we have built so many characters, the story has gotten so convoluted, we need to do a reboot, so let's kind of send it out on a bang. So the whole premise of Armageddon was basically all of the good guys from the history of Mortal Kombat versus all of the bad guys, everybody trying to get to the top of a pyramid to claim this ancient elemental power, which was represented by the character Blaze. And basically, they were all going to kill each other trying to do this, and it would allow for a restart. So along comes Mortal Kombat 9, the restart, the reboot, and it starts off with a great cinematic showing the end of Armageddon, which came down to two fighters, Raiden versus Shao Kahn. Raiden is losing, and before he is killed, Raiden sends a message to himself in the past. It basically says he must win, basically trying to shape what happens and to prevent Armageddon. And so Mortal Kombat 9, which was just called Mortal Kombat. It's the reboot. It basically is Mortal Kombat's 1, 2, and 3 with a little bit more in-depth story and this whole mystery of what does Raiden's visions mean? He's seeing glimpses of the past timeline, and he's trying to figure out what he needs to do to change the timeline. It's a really great kind of story. You actually get to watch quite a few characters get killed off in it, which is kind of shocking when those moments happen, and leads to a final showdown between Raiden and Liu Kang, who has always been the series' chosen one, in which Raiden has to kill Liu Kang so that Shao Kahn can win. And when that happens, it leads to the Elder Gods killing Shao Kahn. which is okay. That was what they meant by he must win. Shao Kahn needed to win. Then we get to Mortal Kombat 10, and this goes into the future. We get to see what has happened to the characters. The good guys who were killed in Mortal Kombat 9 have been brought back to life by Quan Chi as revenants, basically not quite like a zombie, but think of like a zombie, but with like the intelligence, they know what happened in their past life. They have been brought back, and now you have Johnny Cage, his now ex-wife, Sonya Blade, their daughter, but Johnny Cage is leading a team of basically new heroes to try and get them prepared to stop Quan Chi and Quan Chi's master Shinnok, who has now come out of the shadows and been brought back and is trying to take over the world and to poison what's called the ginseng, which is kind of the life force of Earthrealm. It's a pretty good story in that they introduce some new characters that are really great. I'm not going to get into the full story, but you kind of get the idea. In the end, good guys win. Raiden, basically Cassie Cage, so the daughter of Sonya and Johnny Cage, saves the day, beats Shinnok. Raiden gets Shinnok's amulet, which starts to corrupt him, and he has changed his attitude of, instead of us being Earthrealm and being on the defense, no, we're going to go after our enemies. We're going to take the fight to them. And that's where Mortal Kombat, the next Mortal Kombat picks up. So Mortal Kombat 11 is, here we go. Raiden has been corrupted. He's on the warpath, and he's going to kind of ruin everything. Unfortunately, by killing Shinnok, he has pissed off a Titan by the name of Chronica, the Keeper of Time. And so she is trying to gain enough strength and power to basically reset the world and create a new era where Raiden can't interfere, and goes to the plan that she originally is supposed to have. And so that's what you kind of have this battle as the good guys try to stop her. Because of her shifting with time, you get characters from the past coming back or coming into the future, having to learn what happened to them and kind of dealing with kind of all of that. So it's kind of a fun little time travel story. And at the end, spoilers, Liu Kang eventually becomes the fire god Liu Kang after Raiden gives him all of his powers, saves the day, and now becomes the new Keeper of Time. And that's where we end off on that one. So now Mortal Kombat 1 coming in, what we have seen from the trailer is that Liu Kang, Fire God Liu Kang, is created his new era, and we're going to see what happens in there. So that was a whole long kind of, here's the story, but that's all we kind of know. We know characters that were in the trailer was Liu Kang, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Kung Lao, Shang Tsung, and that's about it that we've seen for characters. So we don't know which characters are going to be in it. We don't know what the story is going to be quite yet, except for that it's Liu Kang's new era, so the world that he has created. Kitana and Melina are also in that trailer, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with this story. And that was a very quick a synopsis of these. If you want, you can find several places that they have taken and cut all of the cinematics out of the games and put them together like giant movies. They're each about like 3 hours long. So I mean, I really just gave you the very, 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 very short synopsis of it, but it's a pretty good story. So I'm excited for that and seeing what comes out of it. I could care less about the actual like gameplay and that. I just want more of this story. It's got me intrigued. So that was kind of the exciting thing for me to see pop up this last week. So, but I feel like that's a lot of ranting. Kidder, I know you're not the biggest Mortal Kombat fan, so let's shift to the conversation. Anything that you are playing these days, or are you still playing American Trucking Simulator?
So what's interesting is my microphone muted itself because I didn't actually click mute. I have not played ATS in about a week. However, as you're talking about Mortal Kombat, I did see the last movie, Mortal Kombat, and enjoyed it. So there's that. I also used to play a pinball game as a kid, the Mortal Kombat pinball game, and thoroughly enjoyed playing that. So there's my tie-in to the Mortal Kombat. And of course, it's MK, which of course is the Mark Kidder. So there you go. Other than that, watched AntMan Quantumania this week, as it is now available on streaming. Many people have said that it is the worst Marvel movie ever made, even eclipsing Immortals. I have to say that it was a pretty bad Marvel movie, which Marvel usually has a very good record for movies. So I don't know what really happened with this one, but the quality was not there, what I would expect for a Marvel movie. And I'm not talking about the cinematics. Yeah, the stuff was imagined nicely. The actual CGI, it looked good in the Marvel sense. The editing and the content were not there. And Paul Rudd is funny. So there's that. I think he got hosed on this movie. Just my outside input, I suppose. I don't want to hate too much on Ant-Man because it's not like he's Spider-Man, although there is a Spider-Man reference in there. Not my favorite Marvel movie. I think I actually enjoyed Immortals a lot more than that movie.
Which is saying something, because the movie you keep referencing is Eternals, not Immortals.
Immortals, whatever. They're basically immortal.
I'm just saying, it was so good. You remember the title of it. So.
Yep. You do have an astute point. That's for sure.
I haven't seen that one, which doesn't surprise you, but I actually haven't seen any of the Ant-Man movies. So in my course of watching everything, I think those are just some of the ones that just never really quite clicked. Or, it's like when there's, how many do they release? Like 3 a year Marvel movies. It's, and I'm not even counting the TV shows, but like 3 Marvel movies a year, it's fine. But at the same time, it's kind of like, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of stuff to keep up with. And so I am way behind on watching things. I haven't seen anything since Endgame, but if you go back to before Endgame, there are a couple of things. Didn't see Captain Marvel, didn't see the Ant-Man movies. I don't think I maybe have seen everything else. It just gets to be a lot. And, and not every hero clicks with everybody. I know. I jokingly pester Mark that he should be watching some of the Spider-Man stuff because it's good. But I can understand also, Spider-Man doesn't appeal to him. I get it. That's why there are so many characters, because if everybody liked the same characters, we wouldn't have 10,000 of them. So, Gitter, not to get too deep into the spoilers, but sticking on Marvel, have you seen that there's been some leaked images off of the new Captain America movie? And one WWE superstar, Seth Rollins, was spotted on set and is thought to be the character Diamondback, one of the members of the Serpent Society.
I maybe have come across that. in a scrolling and then forgot.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with that, with the new Captain America movie. And they just recently started filming Deadpool 3. So that's being filmed. I didn't see the second Deadpool. I liked the first one. Was a little more crude than I liked, but wasn't bad.
I know you're not up on that humor.
Yeah, I mean, not my favorite. And it's not to say, like, if the whole thing had been, like, crude jokes, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it. But as someone who's actually read quite a bit of the Deadpool comics, it was like, this is even a little bit, like, too much. It's kind of like they got the green light to make a rated R Marvel movie, and they're just like, we're going to go all the way with this. It was enjoyable, but wasn't, not everything was... did I find funny. And then the second one just came out at a bad time, and I just never made it to it.
I have it in the collection.
Maybe I have to check it out sometime. Or just wait, and maybe it'll eventually show up on Disney Plus, because they just added the old Spider-Man movies to Disney Plus, along with Venom. So I need to check out Venom. I'd say I do it this weekend, but got a lot of podcasting to do.
There's a little something to do, yeah.
Let's see what else we got here, Kidder. Hey, I have an update on the whole battle for Taco Tuesday.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh, I talked about it last week. So let me refresh your memory if you didn't catch this conversation. Taco Bell is waging war with Taco John's because Taco John's trademarked Taco Tuesday. It is their big promotion where you can get cheap tacos on Tuesday. Anyway, I mentioned last week that Taco Bell has filed a petition in court to free the name Taco Tuesday. It has gone one step further, Kidder. They have now actually started a marketing campaign. So they are now putting out ads on the terms of, we need to free Taco Tuesday because some other company has it trademarked. Trying to make it seem like they're going up against some like big corporation and not just a fast food chain out of Wyoming. And starring in this ad campaign, none other than the great fighter of corporate greed, one LeBron James. You guys can't see it because he didn't say anything, but Cantor is so face palming right now.
Why do we have to say LeBron's name in this show?
Because of the reaction I get out of you when we say LeBron James.
Don't make me call Phil.
I'm sure Phil would have some fantastic insight on the battle for Taco Tuesday. Yeah. Or at least some good comedy about it.
LeBron! Yeah.
Kidder, did you ever see Space Jam 2?
Yes, and I am a worse person for seeing it.
Yeah, I skipped that one. That was not a movie that needed a remake. They could have left that one alone.
They sure could have.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Oh, of course not. This is Hollywood, where they're going to take all your favorites and eventually reboot them and make them worse.
Mm-hmm.
Always makes you scared to figure out, like, hey, what intellectual property are they going to grab next?
That's a good question. So I don't know, because there's plenty of profiles of intellectuality out there that could be stolen.
Yeah. I mean, right now we have Fast and the Furious, so that kind of is keeping, I would say, any of the car movies down. So, like, you know, we've talked about them making Smokey the Bandit, but like Cannonball Run would be another one that we haven't seen them make. Ooh, here's one, Kidder. And I know this will, you would hate this. But Police Academy, one of your favorite series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Doesn't need to be remade. Steve Guttenberg hit the mark, and that's it. You know, they can't remake it. They would have to continue it.
Yeah, see, and I think they would reboot it. I think that would be, I mean, that would just be what they do. They'll reboot it. You'll get a new cast of, characters. That would be one. RoboCop, we haven't seen come back.
Oh, but we did.
Was there a RoboCop recently?
There was a remake about 8 years ago.
Wow. Shows how up on those I am. I missed that one. Let's see what else is out there property wise.
I think 2014 is when it came out. Michael Keaton is in it, as well as Samuel L. Jackson. And then a bunch of people you probably don't know.
It's probably true. Let's see what else is there. Oh, Lethal Weapon.
Terrible. I own it. I think they're making a new Lethal Weapon as well.
Wow.
With Danny Glover and
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that guy. Thank you.
You're welcome. I used to like Lethal Weapon. Beverly Hills Cop. There would be one. I mean, they just did Coming to America 2, so you could do Beverly Hills Cop 4. That's a series that changed drastically between Beverly Hills Cop 1 and Beverly Hills Cop 3. I don't know how familiar you are with that series.
Barely.
Beverly Hills Cop is really kind of serious. There's comedy in it, but it's a far more serious movie. You get to Beverly Hills Cop 3 and it's just yeah, we're gonna turn up the comedy in this series more. The first one is very much they killed my partner and I'm out for revenge. Shenanigans along the way, and then you get to Beverly Hills Cop 3 and it all takes place in an amusement park and hijinks ensue. It's that they went very heavy comedy by the end of that series. But I remember I think I saw the third one first, and then it was went back and watched the first one. This is not as good. You ever have that, Kidder, where you've watched a series out of order?
Yes.
And thought that you came up with your own order of this makes sense. For instance, when I was a kid, I would have told you that Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was the first movie in the Indiana Jones series because it was so different and dark and such. So I'm well, that one had to be first, and then they dialed it in for Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then The Last Crusade was awesome. And then my mom was no, Raiders came out first. So I'm that doesn't make any sense. As a kid, I couldn't wrap my head around it. But did you ever have something like that? You watched a series and you went, well, clearly it had to have been in this order.
Well, I saw the second Austin Powers movie first, and then it really didn't make sense.
Yeah, that'd be a weird one to jump into. I never saw the third Austin Powers. I saw the first two, and then the second one was kind of pushing my level of what I was willing to accept in that series. And then it's I saw the trailer for the third one, and I'm just nope, too much.
Mm-hmm.
He's trucking people.
Nope, it's not me.
It's not you?
It's not me.
Oh my gosh. Are we sharing somebody else's stream of them trucking?
It's somebody, all right.
Well, okay. My computer is kind of far away. I think if I can read that text that it's Rude Boy Kyle.
It is Rude Boy. He's one trucking mofo.
Look out. Traffic.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. Look at him looking.
Yeah.
Look at him looking.
He has a bunch of fancy stuff, okay? So he has this eyeball reader, so then he can look left and right or something, and then it moves the camera in the game left and right. And he's got his little wheel. It's not a little wheel, but he's got a wheel, and he's got the customized buttons in there, so then he can hit the turn signal and hit the cruise and reset the trip odometer and all kinds of stuff that I use the keyboard. That's good for me.
I just have to ask, does he use the same setup when you guys do lawn mowing simulator? The eyeball reader. So if he looks left and right, he's, you see his guy checking out the lawn as he goes.
I would say yes. However, I don't think he had that when we were really rolling with the lords of the lawn. Oh man, construction's coming up. Good thing there's that traffic signal there to slow him down.
Yeah, he just blew right through it. I mean, it was green, but
It was green, yes. I was really hoping that he was going to jam the gas and just go around these jamokes, because look at that damn Winnebago in front of him. Get the hell out of the way.
well, it kind of looks like he's in a no passing zone, but
He doesn't care. Brothers Blue Holland doesn't have time for no passing zones.
I mean, he's showing off some cinematic camera angles because, like, I don't know why you would ever drive looking at that angle.
Yeah, you can stare at the no passing double yellow. I have no idea where he is either. He neglected to tell me. Yep. See, he's telling the things to get the hell out of his way. I'm sure there's no audio, but he was just honking.
Well, looking at the landscape, he seems to be in some sort of desert.
Arizona.
I was about to say, I would guess Arizona.
The sign that he just passed said Flagstaff and an arrow straight ahead.
Yeah, again, like where my computer is and the size of the window, I mean, I can't read.
110 miles to Flagstaff. I had to get the quick scoping eyes on the sign as it went by, because the resolution isn't much better here.
Yeah. Well, looks like he's making quite the haul.
Look at the open roads. Oh man. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So is he streaming this? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, he's streaming this through Steam. So he's Steam streaming.
You know, it'd almost be funny and not tell him, but to start streaming our show on Twitch, and it's basically you and I commentating on his stream as he goes.
I mean, we do have the technology.
Yes, but you know, this then kind of gets to a point where this podcast kills the audio listeners. So,
oh, what are you talking about? Listen to the hum of that Volvo.
I can't hear it.
Can't hear it, right? Well, I can hear it, and that's something. Let me tell you.
Need to clean that brush.
Oh, you hit the rumble strips. It's something, Howard Blues. It's something.
It definitely is. But man, you guys have been playing a lot of this American Trucking Simulator.
We have played a little bit. According to Steam, I've played a few hours, and it's been a bit since I've got behind the wheel and hit the open road.
I see, and like just watching this, I don't know that I would find it like interesting.
It's relaxing.
But if I was gonna go for a long drive, I would just go for a long drive.
Yeah, but this is cheaper. This is like a quarter tank of gas.
Yeah, but it's just not the same, man. You know.
But you can visit the Grand Canyon. You can visit the Four Corners Interpretive Center. You can visit the Eisenhower Tunnel in Colorado. You can go to Hoover Dam, Las Vegas. You can even traverse Montana. But I haven't purchased that DLC yet.
Yeah. I mean, Montana would be interesting as somebody who used to live there, but I think I would be highly disappointed because like I would want to go to like my old stomping grounds and I'd want it to be like realistic. And I'm going to guess that this game is not like that realistic of a simulator where like the miles are like true miles and buildings are all in the right place and such.
They shorten it. So, to some degree, it takes you less time to get from major city to major city because the time is accelerated. And even though you're driving, like Rude Boy there, he's driving about 55, the miles pass faster than it would in the real world. So again, it kind of helps you to actually get places in the game without spending 12 hours driving halfway across the country.
Right.
The Montana DLC pack is $11.99 right now. I have not purchased it yet. I may pick it up. Oh, he's honking at people.
Well, there's a cop pulling somebody over.
Yep.
Huh?
There's a stupid ass roundabout. But as you can see, Rude Boy, he used his turn signal like a true patriot.
No, I mean, as I said, like for me, like the only thing that would appeal to me in this would be to actually be able to drive through and see like the old stomping ground, like a real realistic like simulation of that. Like if you could find, if somebody figures out how to do this, it'd be awesome. But like if you could drive around like the maps of Google Earth, you know how Google has the street view. If you could actually like drive those streets, that'd be kind of awesome. That'd be fun. Cruise around, drive to places you've never been, take a drive down the streets of Las Vegas and see all the casinos and all of that. There'd be some kind of cool places.
Again, with the street view, but it's just not the same as driving and looking like this.
Right. What I'm saying though is I'd like it to be a simulation like this, but like in Google Street View.
That'd be something.
I mean, that would be you'd have to kind of figure a way to integrate, like a driving mode into Street View. Yeah, it would be kind of interesting in that sense. So.
Well. I just learned from the GPS that he's headed to the Grand Canyon, so you can see the Earth's butt crack.
Oh, that was the Marianas Trench.
Also, that's his custom trailer, so he's not actually on a job right now. He's just driving for the funs of it.
That butt crack joke, I could have probably also gone with Cleveland. That would have worked, too. Cleveland is just one of those funny cities that makes it an easy target for jokes.
I've never been there, but I just have heard that Cleveland rocks.
I've been through Cleveland once. When we drove down to Global Finals one year for DI, we drove through Cleveland.
There's an Arizona license plate right there in front of Rude Boy. And now he's entering the Grand Canyon Village. Interestingly enough, you can change your home location for you, i.e. your driver, which is you. Anyway, I think you can't hear it, but the beeping, I think, is the motion sensors that you're getting too close to, the person in front of you or something. Anyway, whatever I was saying there.
Oh, yeah, there's the Grand Canyon. Keep your eyes on the road, Rude Boy. Drifting a little bit there.
You got to take it wide so you can get in to get the true cinematic view here. Yeah, his trailer hit the edge there.
It's a national park. You're just costing the taxpayers money.
Look at that. They had a helicopter there.
Jump the truck. Jump the truck.
Unfortunately, you can't.
No.
You just hit the edge, basically, and then you're just hosed. But look at the customization he's done on the truck.
It's almost like he's listening in.
I know. He's not, but
no, he's taking a photo of his truck at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, there are photo areas. So you see how it's white there in a normal photo, and then it turns yellow, and then lists something. When it turns yellow, that's a photographic area that you basically get like there. So you get a photo trophy. Burp, 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 burp. He's honking. I did pass along that you requested to see Montana. So I don't know if he's going to hit the road.
Well,
he has Montana. I cannot afford Montana.
Few people could afford to purchase Montana.
Right as I
tell him to head towards Kalispell. No, that's Missoula. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the right seat. No. Don't go towards hippie land. There you go.
What is he?
Great
There's
Falls
no way
is okay.
that there's no way that he can hear me. So I don't know.
Oh, he's going to Missoula. I mean, I will give him credit. Missoula is home to Kettle House Brewery, home of Cold Smoke.
I like the mods that you can add into the game too. As you can see, you can add stores into the game. It replaces the El Generico places with real businesses. And apparently he has driven through this area already. All the yellow is where he has discovered. But the white roads are where he has not driven. Oh, he's taking the quick road, and that's Montana Highway 24 at Fort Peck Reservation.
Yep.
That is a photo of somebody captured in the game. So now we're outside Kalispell.
It looks like you can travel through quite a bit of Highway 2.
Yeah. He has a photo that he needs to take, and that's where he's going.
Going up into Glacier, it looks like.
Yeah. He's dropping the trailer. He's done with his trailer for now. Maybe. Yep, he's done with the trailer. He's bobtailing.
Well, I can understand that, wanting to take the trailer up some of those mountain roads. But,
So 100 miles away would be 2 hours, 21 minutes in the game. But notice how it does look like certain areas in Kalispell.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got a Kalispell feel. Like, it's not like perfect by any means. It actually, if I'm being honest, it looks kind of more like the outskirts, even kind of closer to the Columbia Falls area, but
They do condense the cities significantly.
yeah.
So, that's what I was going to mention. His little hockey goalie mask hanging, dangling from the ceiling on the right side of your screen, right by the virtual mirror.
Oh, yeah, because there's the annoying courthouse.
Right in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the road. I've driven around that damn thing so many times. I guess, okay, the courthouse itself isn't what's really annoying about it. What is that it goes from 2-lane down to a single lane, and I could never remember, Kidder, which lane dropped out. Because I think, like, on the one-way, like, when you're heading north to south, I think it's like the right lane drops off. But then when you come up south to north, it's like the left lane drops off. So
Makes perfect sense.
yeah. But yeah, no, hey, that's a pretty good representation of downtown Kalispell. I've walked around much of that area. So audio listeners, you're just going to have to go over to YouTube and check this out to see it. But
hopefully the audio records into this. I don't remember if it actually does, but probably won't.
yeah. But yeah,
I can hear it.
I'm actually kind of impressed. I mean, I understand that they're condensing the cities, but they got a pretty good kind of feel for it. Like he's just should have been just going past the mall, heading towards Columbia Falls. Yeah.
There's the 5-0 doing nothing. The Montana Highway Patrol.
Yeah, that's kind of it. I'll give it credit. It's not
Now we're
bad
in Evergreen County or city, whatever. On Highway 2.
Yep. So heading towards Columbia Falls.
There's a Texas Roadhouse.
Doesn't actually exist there, but okay.
And an IHOP.
Also, well, no, there is an IHOP, although not there.
And here at Brothers Blue Hauling, we don't have time for red lights. In case you caught that.
I'm looking at a very small screen, but yeah. But you should be heading up into kind of Glacier National Park here shortly.
Yeah, the official location is 84 miles away in the game and an hour 47 in the game. But going through the truck stop.
Apparently he's got a fueler up. No, wait. Is there a Lucky Lil's?
I doubt it.
Because it is not a gas station in Montana if it doesn't have a Lucky Lil's. A fun fact for you. Every town in Montana seems to have a gas station with a Lucky Lil's casino in it.
Well, I'm sure it's in there. It just is part of the extra DLC you have to find on the internet.
Probably. But yes, fun fact for you. If you ever curious to know if you're for sure in Montana, if the gas station has a Lucky Lil's, you're in Montana.
Yeah, don't mind that In-N-Out burger on the side there.
Also not in Montana.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, look. One of the many rivers and bridges that we crossed.
Yeah. Probably the North Clark.
That Food Services of America truck just cut him off. I wonder how he feels about it.
Wow.
The other thing that bothers me about it, when you're in this view and you move your mouse, you can't actually click Bad Rock Canyon. Whoa, he's zooming in. I didn't know you could do that. Yeah. And there's his little goalie helmet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can't click the buttons with your mouse on the dashboard. It's kind of disappointing to me.
What's that one say?
Burn Roadside Park. And he just got... You gotta check your mirrors, rude boy.
Well, Kidder, with that bit of collision and now need for bodywork, you know what? We've been talking for quite a while. It is time that we wrap this show up, especially since we got 2 more shows to do this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So we better hit those cheap plugs and rest up so we're ready for all the fun we're about to have this weekend.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to leave this up as I'm doing it because he has 66 miles to go yet. So thanks for joining us for this show. What can I talk about first? The website, beerbluesbs.com. beerbluesbs.com. Look at that view. It's your home in cyberspace for everything at the Triple B. I mean, it's as relaxing as being right there in Montana next to that crystally clear spring stream. beerbluesbs.com. While you're there, buy us a beer or buy us a round, buy us a 12-pack and help support the show. You can also buy some of our merch, just like this wonderful pint glass that is, yes, the perfect Kidder-approved old-fashioned with no freaking cherry, because there's no cherries allowed in an old-fashioned, or perhaps this wonderful Triple B pint glass. Available beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch, or even one of these. You can get a pint glass of the I Will Have a Water with hops and grain. You can get it as a pint glass or even a comforter. It's up to you. beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch. We also have another merch store that has a little bit of different merch for you. Streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. You can donate to the show there, buy some merch, shirts on there. They're real great looking shirts on both of the merch stores. So check them out, beerbluesbs.com. He can't go straight, but he's got some other kind of village in the sign there that I couldn't read. Anyway, we are also on every pretty much social platform that's out there, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Just search Beer Blues and BS on any of those, or type facebook.com/beerbluesbs, instagram.com/beerbluesbs, youtube.com/beerbluesbs. And please like us, share it, subscribe. It's free. We appreciate it. On top of it, everywhere in the audio podcasting realm, that's where we're located. iHeartRadio, Pandora, TuneIn, Stitcher, IMDb, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts. That is just to name a couple. We are anywhere and everywhere. So please listen to us. And if you have any of those services, search for Beer, Blues, and BS. And subscribe/follow our show on those apps. Please, it'll help us get in front of more viewers and listeners just like you. So thank you for making it this far in the show. And let's see. Other special videos like Howard's Cave of Wonder and our wrestling reviews are available on YouTube, and the audio versions are also available on all those that I just mentioned. So please visit those, give us a thumbs up, follow, like, subscribe. It helps us help you. So I suppose he's got 29 more miles to go as we go through. This looks like the, what is that? Highway to Heaven? No.
Going to Sun Road.
That one. Yeah, there's that damn tunnel. One of them. You can't hear the horn, but I guarantee he's going to hit the horn when he goes through the tunnel. There it is. I swear he's not even listening. He can't hear me. There's no way. I just knew it. Man. Yeah, that's how far he is from getting to one of the overlooks, or
I'm gonna guess that it's gonna have him go to Logan Pass, the Logan Pass visitor center. Just looking at the map.
You know, it was a nice place, except for all the people.
Yeah, I learned after your guys' visits, there's a they do a bus system. So once you're in the park, you can just get on the bus, and it will drive you up and drop you off. And that's actually the best way to go to Logan Pass. It's actually the best way to do going to Sun Road. Let's just take the bus. It stops at all the major stops. You don't have to try and find a parking spot, because it's tough to find a parking spot, especially at Logan Pass. So that's your travel tip from Howard.
Yeah. So next time you go to Montana up to Glacier National Park and you want to park and have somebody else do the work, you just take the bus. And Howard, where can they get on the bus?
As I said, most of the major locations. So when we've done it, we used to get on at Apgar Village. So because there's plenty of
gone through.
Yeah, we when you guys came through, we went through Apgar. Yeah, kind of a cool place.
He just honked at a trooper. Actually, it was a white vehicle, so I think it was a park ranger. He has 23 miles to go, and he's taking his time.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might as well see the sights when you're on Going to Sun Road. So
here we go. Here's the photo.
He's meandering as much as this outro is.
Yeah, this thing's all over the place. Look at that truck just sitting there by itself. And how far can he go? Ah! Hey, that looks familiar.
Yeah.
I can't read it. Oh, Mount Oberlin. Where's that at?
I mean, it is off of Going to Sun Road. I mean, So
Okay. Well, how about that? And now he's going over to the little log cabin and solar panel. I don't know what he's doing. All right. Well, what an interesting end to a meandering episode. Thanks for joining us for this episode. He's Howard Blues. That's Rude Boy Kyle. He's hit the road again. And almost getting run off the road. I am the man, the myth, legend, Mark Kidder. Thanks for joining us for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Remember, there's free beer tomorrow. Keep your glass at least half full, and we will catch you on down that road to the sun, Tuscan Highway. Have a good one. See you on the next episode of Triple B.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
See how relaxing it is? Just
I mean, I've been painting, so
yes. So you're partially high and relaxed.
I like how you guys keep implying that there's like paint fumes and such with this, and there's like none.
Oh, maybe you're just used to them now.
No, it's
there's
not. It's not that type of acrylic paint. It's
okay.